Hello.
Hi, this is Bedouin Burger, and you're watching
Eclectic Arts.
Welcome to Seattle. Is this the first time that you've been here?
Yes, for me.
Yes.
Okay, so how has the last day or two been so far?
Amazing.
I totally adore the city.
Yeah, we were really surprised because we had an idea about the city that was very different from what we saw. Maybe the climate change has been surprising for us because the weather was incredible and
the colors of Seattle is so
the
beautiful.
nature is something we didn't expect. I did not search for this city before, but we've seen some amazing places.
And we met amazing people.
Yeah.
That you're based in France, but from Beirut in Syria, is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay, so how did you two meet?
I have friends that have a band called Tanjir al-Dalet, a Syrian band that they live in Beirut, and they are friends with Lynn, and this is in their house I met Lynn.
And then I had moved from Paris at that time. I was living in Paris and I moved that year. When I met him I was in Syria, and then I moved to Lebanon, to Beirut, because I felt like music could be better there. And then the next day I came to Beirut. Me and Zeid became really like very good friends. We felt like there was a lot of chemistry between us, and we started just going out, seeing friends, doing music. And there's COVID that came, so we had kind of been obliged to work all the time.
We isolated together.
Yeah.
In a studio.
So the project was actually born like this.
Okay, interesting. So is this the first time you're getting a chance to play the music here in America?
For me, I played once long time ago, but officially like playing with this group, yeah, this is my first time. I think Zeid played before though.
Yeah, I performed before, but this is the first really official time with a team around me. You know, so before it was just jamming with friends. This is really the first time we want to present something that is coherent and a whole album and a whole project.
Okay, well no, that's awesome that this is like the kind of the big push then in terms of doing the project. And I think sometimes when people look at the name, they're kind of confused by the burger part. Even if you do like a search online, if you do it, they'll actually ask you for like location of where you're based. So like if they can find restaurants that have burgers.
This is our next step, you know.
A chain of Bedouin Burger chain. That's a good idea.
We might do that.
Vegan.
So it started as, honestly, as kind of like a joke between us, because I wanted, all my life I have been very attracted to the Bedouin lifestyle, the Bedouin culture. I always felt like maybe I was a Bedouin in another life somehow. So I told Zeid, let's do something around the Bedouin persona somehow. And Zeid was really joking. He was like, I can be the burger.
I wanted to tease her. I wanted to be the balance of the pop, greasy culture, the big machines, the sample, the hip hop, the beats, to counter the dreamy, you know.
So it became actually the concept that where you're saying the two sides of the Bedouin, meaning I can represent, let's say, this dreamy, you know, the chant, the singing, the music, and Zeid can bring the power of the beats and
the groove,
which is burger as
pop music,
as kind of what we can see in America actually too. So this is the word
combination of cultures.
Yeah, well, actually, if you see the set later in the concert, you'll see that even us, when we started the set, we were feeling that people would be confused because it goes like this. Really, it's not a dancey music all the time. It's not dreamy all the time. It's really the mix between both.
We're not on stage to have people dance and we use formulas. We really want to play the songs we write, and we are ourselves exploring the format of our music. So we don't have an idea of how it should be, but we're always trying to push our pleasure, trying to see what we appreciate and how we want to play it.
Interesting. So it's like you're constantly experimenting. You're constantly there is no like rule book to this. Then it's constant. You can keep adding and watching it grow and change and shift.
Yeah, I mean, we started this idea of this group wanting just to explore things. We didn't know we will arrive to this today. This is what we're talking this morning. That's why we're in constant feeling of being in a playground and wanting to have fun before anything.
And the songs are not, they don't have a typical format. You know, we will start with samples and beat and then drop to just guitar voice and then to, it's not chorus and verse, and it's just somehow we're really exploring the pleasure process, what melody, how, and Lynn has so much soul in how she sings and how she writes, and I love also to blend this with rhythm and electronics, so really we're exploring, it's true.
Do you guys see yourselves in the future collaborating with more than the duo?
Maybe, yeah.
It would be sad if we didn't. You know, Lynn has a huge background, a musical background. I have my musical background, and it's really made of collaborations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how it's gonna be and what format, but we definitely have music that allows people to be on stage with us sometime. Whether, you know, musicians coming from jazz, from hip hop, from traditional music, it's quite versatile in that way. We had been sharing stages with people, and it was amazing each time and very different. Yeah.
I am so into collaborating with musicians. I love that.
What are they going to experience from Bedouin Burger?
They're going to experience melancholy, joy, some of the a feeling from where we come from.
Yeah, like a taste, a flavor of classical Arabic with minimal electronica, with singer-songwriting, with the choirs, with, I wouldn't know how to describe it. So
with dancey rhythms, airy rhythms.
You will have to tell us.
You will have to tell us
what you felt.
Yeah.
I definitely will, and I'll have to write about it too. I'm kind of curious too that you have an instrument that looks like an ukulele, but it also looks like an acoustic guitar. Can you explain a little bit more what that is?
But this is I fell in love with this guitar. Yamaha did it. It's a guitarlele. It's a travel guitar, but I don't know how they did it. It just sounds so good. It has the sound of kora. You know, I worked a lot in West Africa with artists, griot, that plays kora. And when I tried this instrument once in a shop, I was like, oh my God, how did they do that? And I tried so much other instruments, and no one has the sound. So ever since, I've been buying a lot of them, because every time I travel, I leave it where I go. It's like, it became like the perfect gift.
Yeah. It's beautiful sound. I feel it's kind of became like the signature of some of our songs. It's a mix between the sound of ukulele, kora, guitar. So it's a nice song, sound.
And I really play it the African way.
Zeid is influenced a lot
yeah,
from his guitar playing.
Picking on it, that is so influenced by the artists from Guinea I collaborate with. So also I make it sound like really my unique instrument.
Yeah, I noticed your right hand technique in some of the videos that I was watching. I was like, look at that, what's going on here? That's not traditional at all from what you would see here in the West at all. And then I'm kind of curious about your vocal background, because you have such a beautiful voice.
Thank you.
And it's very, very versatile too. So I'm kind of curious, does this go back to when you're a little girl and you're singing around the room, or are you taking lessons and doing the whole thing?
It started by me singing a lot in the shower in the house. And then my parents went to the church, because we're in Syria. We have a local church called Lady of Damascus, so we're minorities too. So my mom brought me to this church, to this priest who auditioned me at 5 years old, and I was enrolled in the choir. And it's really the choir that made me love music and love being on stage, because I was sold this very, very early. So the stage fright, I got to deal with that very early. I had a lot of stage fright when I started singing solos about 9 or so, and then it became a necessity, and also my vocal techniques comes a lot from chanting, and it's very, very spiritual act for me. And then later on, I was very much interested in jazz, and I studied jazz in Paris. And honestly, I wanted to be a jazz singer, and I still do actually. Like I still, whatever jazz singer means, but it's definitely, I was like, I fell in love with jazz and what it represents and the story of it, and how liberty it gives you also in performing. So I do like applying this also to this project by improvising sometimes and bringing this freedom vocally. But I don't have a style. I mean, I'm not you know, only doing jazz or only doing Arabic music. It's kind of like a bridge between those.
You've got just a beautiful voice, and when you guys put your ideas together, it sounds so unique. I think that's why it's really kind of jumping out of the speakers to people.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I feel like the reactions are behind where we are today. Like, I think when we started putting our music out, it was like putting, you know, like a little bomb, because every time people listened, they were really, really like touched and were happy. And I feel this is what's making the group survive.
It's motivating to see people excited about the sound.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to kind of wrap this up, what's coming up in the immediate future for Bedouin Burger?
Besides concert and touring, I think
album. The album is dropping a part of it at the end of October, and then the whole album at the end of the year. And
we've been releasing songs every 2 months approximately, and we decided to we're gonna release another song, and then we're gonna release a part, as you said, an EP, and then the whole album.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure.
I'll just edit this out.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not live or anything. Yeah, no problem. But in doing some research with you guys,